Hey guys, what's up? And thank you for clicking on my video. My name is TJ Style and I welcome you folks to my Adobe Photoshop CS6 tutorials. This tutorial series, people, is going to teach you Photoshop right from the beginning. So if you people are absolutely new to the software, don't need to worry, okay? I'm going to be covering up every small thing that I think a beginner should be knowing when he is learning Adobe Photoshop CS6. This tutorial series is also great for those users who have some experience in Photoshop but they want to learn Adobe Photoshop more in detail so that they can have professional-like results when they are working with their files and are basically just doing some personal work or anything like that. So let's get started with today's tutorial, people. So guys, since this is the first part in your tutorial series, I'm going to devote the first video in explaining you the important Photoshop settings that one should do when he is about to start some heavy work on Photoshop. Now, even if you guys are beginners and you're just about to edit some basic images that you have taken from your cell phone or from your iPad or anything, I still encourage you people and I still recommend you people to watch this tutorial right till the end so that you guys can actually power up Photoshop, because what happens is most of the times you people will be having a good computer but Photoshop will not be able to utilize all its power, and therefore you may sometimes experience crashes and Photoshop hanging and lagging a lot. Alright guys, so let's just get started with today's tutorial. Now guys, for going to the place where you're gonna do some changes in the settings, for Mac users, the place is gonna be in this Photoshop button over here, okay, which says Photoshop. Click on it and go to the preferences, alright, and then to the general tab and wait over there. And now I'm gonna explain for the Windows. For all those who are using Windows like me, alright, go to the edit tool or the menu, preferences, and go to general. Alright, now once you are there guys, what's going to happen is you're going to take a look at this dialog box over here. Alright, now I have already done some changes, okay, which I think is important, so I'm just going to tell you what all to do. Okay, now definitely people, once you have once you have got to the preferences setting dialog box, by default guys, this thing is going to be out. Okay, this thing is going to be checked out. Make sure that you check it in. Okay, now I recommend you people to check it in because it's a cool feature. It says zoom with scroll wheel. Alright, now I'm just gonna go ahead and click OK for now. Alright, just to show you what it basically does. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just to show you, alright, what it basically means and does is that guys, no matter which tool I have selected in Adobe Photoshop, I can just use my scroll wheel. Okay, it can be a zoom tool, it can be the hand tool, it can be the marquee selection tool, it can be the paint tool, it can be the marquee selection tool, the lasso, patch tool, or the clone stamp tool, the move tool, or anything like that. Okay, but I can just simply move and actually zoom in, okay, using my scroll wheel, okay, which is there available to me on my mouse. Now most of the mouse in today's world, people, have the scroll wheel, so you don't really need to worry about it. Okay, just if you just do a good scroll and you will be able to concentrate on the part where you want to zoom in. Alright, so that's a pretty cool feature. Go under the menu again, preferences, and interface this time, because we are through with the general. Now if you people would have seen Adobe Photoshop CS5, okay, to all those rookies and all those people who have seen it, okay, you would have noticed that the interface of Adobe Photoshop, or the way Adobe Photoshop looked like, was somewhere like a grayish color, okay, a light grayish color. So if you guys really miss that thing, you have this interface option, okay, under the preferences menu, interface tab, and under the color theme, okay, you can actually change the color of the Adobe Photoshop. And as you can see, there's a live update happening to Adobe Photoshop, and you can actually see that how Adobe Photoshop will look once you have applied this color. Now I really like working in the dark, guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it back to black, and that's a very important thing. Then the next thing which I would want to tell you is the UI font size. Now the UI basically just stands for user interface, okay, font size. Now I have seen people work with somewhere like around 30-inch screen, okay, screen monitor. Now at that kind of a resolution, people, all these panels and all these names, like in the color, the swatches, the layers, they appear puny. Okay, so for those people who have a good monitor size, okay, you can just go ahead and change it back down to large or to medium. Okay, but you'll be needing to do a Photoshop restart. Okay, that is, you need to restart Photoshop in order for the effects to take place under the text panel over here. Right now, I don't want any changes to happen to my Photoshop. Alright, so I'm gonna do a small thing again. Next, we're gonna go to the file handling part. And now guys, this part over here, right, which is very important, right, is going to be set as default to 10 minutes. Now I would recommend you people to actually change it to 5 minutes. Now what that means is that just in case if you are working with some important and some like powerful or heavy files, all right, you may actually experience Photoshop lagging and getting slower, and if you still continue to work, it may actually crash down. All right, so you may actually lose hours of working on a particular thing, just because you didn't save it. All right, you forgot to save the file, and you will lose that, like, your good hard work. So instead of that happening, you can actually there is this Photoshop feature enabled saying automatically save recovery information every 10 minutes. Okay, now that is like set at 10 minutes. You can actually change it down to 5 minutes, which I recommend to most of the people, because that's the time interval that you're going to be losing. So that's at least lower. The file extension, now this is not really important, but basically what it means is when you save file, instead of that PSD thing coming in small letters, if you want to change it, it can come in capital letters, but that's not really important, so forget that. The next thing is this part right here, maximize PSD and PSB file compatibility, and for some reason I haven't changed it, which but but I want to change it. Okay, now the maximize PSD and PSB file compatibility means that Adobe Photoshop will save your PSD in such a way that all the important features which are available, and actually not important but new features which are available in Photoshop CS6, okay, will be shown on an older version, that is CS5 or CS4 or something like that. Okay, but you won't be able to do any editing of those features. Okay, but if you actually guys go ahead and change it to never, actually I had done the change. Okay, all right, but if you change it to never, people, you may actually reduce the file size, okay, around 20 to 40%. Okay, you may actually reduce the file size, this is saved file size, around 20 to 40%. So basically you will be having an advantage over the size, and therefore you will be able to create lots of Photoshop files. Okay, and you will be saving lots of disk space also if you click it down to never. But if you do it never, you are not gonna save all those compatibility. Okay, so if you choose always, the file size is going to go more, but you will be able to pass it on to your friends who have an older version of Photoshop, somewhere like CS5 or CS4 or something like that. Okay, so that's an important thing. Next, we'll go to the performance tab. All right, now guys, I have reduced this RAM usage to 60%. All right, but that's not true. I actually believe in keeping it to somewhere around like 80%. Now remember guys, I have changed it to 80% because my computer right now is having somewhere around like 4 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, so I can actually and I actually do quite some work on Adobe Photoshop. All right, so, and instead of so I would want my Photoshop to run smoothly. All right, so therefore I'm increasing this let Photoshop use, all right, my 2807 MB, that is my 80% of my available RAM. Alright, but if you people are low on RAM, okay, that is around like if you're using 1 GB or 2 GB RAM, firstly guys, I would recommend you people to increase the size of the RAM, okay, upgrade your RAM. But if you don't want to listen to me for some reason, okay, you can actually reduce it down to 60%. Okay, so you can just do that much, and by default guys, this setting is going to be on 70%, but I'll just increase it to 80%. Wait a sec, yeah. Alright, so that's it. And yeah guys, and one more thing that you should be noticing in this thing is add this part which says GPS settings, that is the graphics processor settings. If you if your this part guys is been faded out, okay, that means that you are gonna lose lots of cool features in Adobe Photoshop CS6. One of them being the zoom feature, alright, the zoom, the throwing or the tossing feature, and lots of other things, guys. So I would firstly recommend you people to go out and buy yourself a good VRAM, that is a video RAM, or basically a graphic card for your machine, okay, and then install it, and then this part is going to come up for you. All right, cursors not important, transparency gamut not important. Plugins, actually guys, this is the part where show all filter gallery groups and names. Okay, if you click this in, guys, okay, and click OK to go out of the menu, your filter, guys, is gonna show you lots of other cool what do you say, effects, okay, which will be available to you in Photoshop. So I would just say that go to the preference settings and then keep it on. All right, so that's the basic settings that I do, people, before I start my work in Adobe Photoshop, just in case if I have formatted my computer and I lost Photoshop, and when I'm installing it again, make sure that you do all the settings. Like I always do those settings because they are really important, and I then start using Adobe Photoshop. So thank you for joining me on this video, people. Hope you guys liked it, and please subscribe me because I'm gonna put up lots of other tutorials also. Thank you so much for watching my video, guys. And if you guys have any more problems in your computer or in the software or anything like that, there is a Facebook link below. Go ahead and message me over there, and I'll message you back as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.